All right, folks, welcome to a new episode of For the City. I am your co-host, Francisco, and on the other side is the other co-host, Chef Boy Ortiz. How we doing today, brother?
I am doing wonderful. Doing great, man.
Yep. Last 2 weeks you've been doing fine.
I'm sorry, man. I know I'm bringing all this energy, and I'm like, I got to remember about your side, man. I can't do it like that, man. I'm sorry.
So, again, it was a tale of two cities. One can't get it out of its own way, and the injury bugs keeps hitting them then. And then, Cleveland on the other side, I predicted it was going to be a hit parade on that young boy. And he got his welcome to the NFL moment, courtesy of the Cleveland Browns. So let's talk about that game first. Clowney finally showed up, 2 sacks in that game. And then Myles Garrett, that dude was an absolute monster in that game. He set a franchise record with sacks in one game for the franchise. Tell me how you feel about that. How the game plan go for you guys? And I mean, you didn't put up 40 like I thought you would, but you still put up enough points to win the game.
Hey, it just inspired me, man. Like I had to bring out the sack party, man. I got my sack right here. I got my sack full of sacks. No, man. You were right. I got to give you props, man. You nailed it on the head, man. My assumption of the game, or my prediction was a little bit off. I thought it was going to be a closer game than that. I really didn't expect our defense to show up the way it did, just judged off to the first 2 games. In Chicago, I mean, I knew they had a tough defense, and up until the first half, they were doing exactly kind of what I expected, just to keep them. They came in with a good game plan. You know what I'm saying? That the Bears were like, look, we're gonna try to stuff the run. They held Chubb and Hunt in check as much as they could in the first half, and they got. I mean, dude, you got Khalil Mack, you got not Alden Smith, the other boy Smith, and then that linebacker. I mean, they were balling out, man. But our team, man. I mean, that was a sight to see, man. The way that D-line came in, I mean, I knew it was going to be trouble for Fields. I mean, like you said, exactly like you said, man. They kept him from throwing the ball. And then, I really didn't expect the coach of the Bears to put their quarterback in that kind of situation. They didn't try to do a screen. They didn't try to do a quick pass. Everything was long, drawn out pass design play. So it was a perfect storm, man. And like you said, Myles Garrett finally showed up, man. He finally earned his paycheck. Clowney earned his paycheck. All them dudes on defense did their thing. And my guy, Owusu Koramoah, that boy, he came in and he did his thing, man. He was flying around. He was always around the ball. And I think he's going to see a lot more action going forward. So it was a perfect game defensive-wise.
So I called it. I told you it was going to be a wake-up call game for Justin Fields. Welcome to the NFL. I told you that defense was going to make that boy suffer that game, and they made him suffer something awful in that game. But Clowney finally showed up. I figured he would in this game. He would at least get a couple sacks, and he did get a couple sacks. And I knew Garrett was going to have a field day. With a rookie quarterback, there's no offensive weapons for them. Offensive line is not that great on Chicago. The defense is solid, but I knew Fields was going to have a long day, and he had a long day. But it's one of those deals where he'll learn from, and then hopefully Nagy gets fired by the end of the year, and they actually put a coach in that knows how to deal with Justin's talents, because he's very talented. He just didn't get a chance to throw the ball. He was on his ass most of the game, so he didn't get a chance to really tuck the ball. But let's talk about Odell. Let's shift gears to the offense. So little chemistry going on right now with Odell and Mayfield. Mayfield didn't try to force the ball to him too much. Simple passes, nothing too crazy down the field. Just creating, some chemistry between him and Odell. I think moving forward, I think this has to continue to happen for this team to be successful. Because like we said Landry's on IR for at least 3 weeks, maybe more, depending on what the injury is. Right. From that point, have you heard anything exactly what's going on with Landry?
No. I mean, from what I've heard, from the different things I listen to, the different people I follow and stuff, it seems like he's coming along. It wasn't a serious injury. I think 3 weeks is probably going to be the max, and he should be back. I mean, Jarvis is a beast, man. I think he's just going to tough it out. And, I mean, we don't need him to come back too soon, but once we have him and Odell and Peoples once we get all our receivers 100% healthy and back on the field, it's going to be scary, man. I mean, I know the statistics didn't really show it this game. Again, it's a little bit misleading. I mean, in the beginning, it was like, we were trying to get our footing. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like, he wasn't forcing it to Odell, but I mean, he was 5 of 7 to him. You know what I'm saying? That's an efficient game right there with 77 yards. So, I mean, Odell came in, he caught everything that was catchable in his area, and it looked like the offense. Like I said, you don't have to do too much. Like I hear people already chirping. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Odell's back and Baker's not really. You got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Let's talk about Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt, that dude rushed for 81 yards, had 74 receiving yards, touchdown. I mean, dude is a monster. He was running like the old Kareem Hunt. He was angry. He was hungry. And you needed a back there. Like, don't get me wrong, Chubb he had 84 yards. And it didn't seem that way because he was just plugging along. But Kareem is that change of pace back that's shifty enough. You know what I'm saying? When you got dudes like Khalil Mack on the other side that are just like, they don't miss tackles. Like once you wrap up with them, you're not breaking a tackle against them. So it was just like Kareem was running like a man. When you got we rushed for a total of 215 yards in the game. Baker ain't got to throw the ball 300 yards. He ain't got to throw the ball 50 times. You know what I'm saying? So our offense is going to come together. I ain't worried about the offense one bit. It just was nice to see Beckham out there again, making plays, he made it one hell of a catch. You know what I'm saying? He did that little back shoulder fade and looked like the old Odell Beckham. So that was a great sight to see.
So I was watching the Monday night game. I hate the Eagles and I hate the Cowboys, but I was, watching it for the Manning commentary. So,
right.
So people were making commentary that Dallas has the best running game in the NFL. And I looked at it and I was like, what? I said, y'all sleeping on the Browns, man. You guys, got that two-headed monster there. And I think they're undervalued because I think, honestly, they're both going to get 1,000 yards this year. I think the way that things are going right now, they'll probably reach 1,000 yards each.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's just, I think that's just more of a product of Dallas and that being the Dallas market and everything. There's still people who say that's America's team and all that kind of jazz, but I mean, that's what they do. They pump Dallas up every year. They do their thing in the regular season, and they either choke towards the end or they choke in the playoffs. So, but I mean, like I said, the stats don't lie, man. I mean, we rushed for 215 yards against the Bears defense. They played against. I mean, the Eagles aren't a terrible defense, but it's not the Bears defense. So there's no question we have the best 1-2 running back combo in the league.
All right, so let's switch gears. It's not a good gear that I want to switch, but let's switch gears anyway. Let's talk about the embarrassment that is my New York Football Giants. Again, they lost the game on the field goal like I said they would. The score wasn't what I said. It was 21-24, I believe. I called the game. Ended up being 14-17 on the field goal at the end of the game because, again, their defense got worn down to the nub because they had to be on the field way too long. We lost Blake Martinez to a left ACL tear. He's done for the rest of the year. Rumors are that they're thinking about trading Ingram and getting rid of him because he can't seem to catch the ball. You know what I mean? Nobody on that team seems to be able to catch the ball. And what did I tell you? Danny fumbles. This kid cannot hold on to everybody feels sorry for this kid. But at the same time, man, he's a victim of his own doing. If you can't hold on to the ball, he recovered the fumble that he had. That's not the point, though. The point is you keep dropping them. You keep fumbling the ball. Like I just don't understand it. It's, as a Giants fan, it's frustrating. And then the running game's still not going. He had Barkley had close to 100 yards between running and receiving, but he still didn't reach that 100-yard mark.
No,
still didn't get to that 100-yard mark. And I think that was the key for them to win that game was Saquon getting 100 yards. Whether with a combination of running and receiving, didn't get it done. And what's my boy's name? My mind's going blank right now. The safety. He played for the Browns. Peppers. Yeah, Peppers. This dude can't stop anybody. He's had more catches against him this season than I've ever seen him have. The team looks like, to me, they're giving up. It seems like they're giving up. It's not Joe Judge. Joe Judge is doing his best. And the more I sit back and I see now that they're talking about that they don't want Garrett, they're not going to relieve Garrett of his play calling duties, which to me I think is silly. You got to try to do something better. I told you his play calling is predictable. but everybody wants to give the guy a pass because, you know, they think it's everybody else not doing their job and not Garrett not doing his job. But that game was a travesty, man, from start to finish. You know, the Giants, low scoring game. Like I knew it was going to be low scoring because the Giants are not, with the type of offense they have, they should be putting up 30 points a game. But I knew it was going to be a low scoring game. I knew what was going to happen. Giants were going to have the lead, which they did. They were going to blow it, which they did. And then the defense was going to get worn down in the fourth quarter, which they were. And then we're going to lose that game at the end of the game, which they did on a field goal. Second game in a row that the Giants have blown a game.
Or they should have won.
Game in a row that they should have won. The Giants should be 2-1 right now. 2-1 instead of 0-3. And still be tied at the top of the division with Dallas. Instead, they're at the bottom of the division, and they're going to continue to be there for the rest of the year.
Right.
Now you lose one of your defenders in Blake Martin. What like I don't understand what the Giants do. They're going to pull off guys off the scrap heap. And don't get me wrong, you've had guys who've been successful that's come in off the practice squad that got in their shot. But that doesn't always happen. You know what I mean? In this league, that doesn't always happen. You know, you'll be successful the first couple games until they start getting film on you. You know how that goes. They'll start getting film on you. They'll get a feel for what you can do, and then boom, you're not gonna have the same success. I don't know what else these guys can do, bro. It's, you know, now they're going into New Orleans, a team they haven't beat in New Orleans since 1993, bro. They have not beaten New Orleans in New Orleans since 1993. Do you really think that's gonna happen this game?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna. I know we're not at that point yet in the show, but I'm gonna say no. I don't think they're gonna beat the Saints. But I mean, to me, it's starting to become. It seems like a culture thing. I mean, I know you're saying it's not on Judge, and it really shouldn't be. I was looking at the stats. That was a game again. I was trying to watch the Browns game. I didn't get to see as much of the Giants. I did go back and flip through the highlights in the box score in the game cast, and it looks like they led in every statistical category. They led in first downs, passing yards, rushing yards. I mean, everything was pretty much, you know, seemed like it was going all in their favor. And it was, like you said, they had the game in hand. And, if you can't win the game, if you're losing games like that consistently, you're going to lose the locker room. You're going to lose the players. And then that's what happened. They start trading away their better players, trying to rebuild for next year. And then, unfortunately, it seems like that's what's about to happen. It looks like the GM is probably thinking if we lose a couple more games, I mean, it's a longer season. It's a 17-game season. So, you know, they've never been in this situation. There's always that stat, you know, if a team starts the season off 0-3 and the likelihood of them making the playoffs is dramatically dropped or whatever. But, yeah, man, I mean, it just seems like that's the way they're heading right now. And it might not be a bad thing, man. It might be just time to blow everything up. I mean, you got some good pieces to build around. Jones is probably not the quarterback. It's probably sad to say. I mean, he's had some talent, but it looks like they're probably going to have to go in a different direction. It just don't seem.
I don't necessarily think they need to go in a different direction. I think they need to get an offensive line to protect Jones.
That's true.
You saw what Jones can do when he has an offensive line that gives him time to throw. And at best, the New York Giants line it's makeshift. It's, you know, you're putting pieces here and there. These guys are not, there's no cohesiveness on that offensive line. They don't protect the guy. He's still running for his life. You see what he has, a clean pocket, what he can do, like what he did against Washington. They should have won that game. This game they should have won, but they should have put up more points. The problem is they're not scoring enough. You know what I mean? They're scoring, they're average. I think right now they're only averaging 10 points a game right now. From what I see from the statistics, it's 10 point a game the Giants are averaging. Like, that's crazy to me. The type of offense that you have, you should be putting up points, but you're not. And at some point, there has to be some accountability on the GM's part. Gettleman's got to go.
Yeah.
Gettleman has got to go.
Seems like the writing's been on the wall for a while with him. And, I mean, like I said, I'm not deep in the Giants front office. I know you had a guy in last week. I mean, that dude was awesome. He did a hell of a
great
show.
Conversation, yeah.
And I mean, it seemed like he had a lot of inside information. So again, I don't from what I've heard, and like I said, I don't have the insight like that. Like that writing's been on the wall. That GM, he's probably going to go too. So, you know, I'm hoping that it's not a complete blow up and rebuild. But I mean, you know, if they continue to lose games like in that fashion, man, that's just demoralizing, man. That the team just that really sucks for a team when they lose games that they know they should have won and could have won. So, yeah.
Well, there. I mean, like I said, there was some bright spots in the game with Saquon again. You know, he's getting close, man. He's on the cusp. He's on the cusp. Maybe he does better in the dome. You know what I mean? On that, on the turf, and maybe he can get out there and get going. But I'm kind of scared too that he can actually get himself hurt on on the artificial turf there, man. So I don't know, man. It's a catch-22 with this team. You see them do well, and then boom, offensive line goes well. Boom, one of their best defensive players goes down. It's like what else can go wrong for this team, other than, and then I mean, they used Tony a little bit in that game, but still not utilizing that kid's speed for what I know they can do with him. So I don't know, man. Right. The team's a mess. It's just a mess. Let's shift gears into next week's game. So we're already on the subject. So Giants, New Orleans. This game is going to be absolute bloodbath. I don't see any reason the Giants put up any type of yardage in this game. New Orleans has been playing very, very well. I don't know, man. I just don't have I just don't have any high hopes for this team, man. It's gotten to the point where I'm so demoralized right now by this team's production and the what words can I say to pump myself up to say rah rah? The Giants are gonna put on a show and get it going, but that's not necessarily true, man. I mean, Daniel Jones might have a better game in the dome. He might have a better game in the dome, but at the end of the day, if you can't stop anybody, you can't stop Winston. How you gonna win the game? And he's putting up points. Winston's putting up points now. He's playing a lot better.
Winston's only going to get better. Selfishly enough, I drafted him in my fantasy league. Not for this particular game, not for this particular one, but I mean, you still got Peyton as the head coach. He's an offensive guru. You know what I'm saying? He can make anybody a great scorer. I mean, he had Taysom Hill playing like a star quarterback, and he's a freaking tight end / running back. But yeah, man, I mean, in the dome, after that, coming off of that game, and Saints are coming off a big win against the Pats. I mean, it's going to be tough rowing, man. I don't foresee this being a really good game. Now, don't get me wrong, Winston is susceptible to turnovers.
Oh yeah,
if he
absolutely.
Picks, and you know what I'm saying, they could build a lead, then they can pound a little bit. But their defense is strong, man. That Saints defense is pretty tough, man.
Well, they can't stop Kamara. You're not gonna. I mean, period. You don't stop him on the ground. How are you gonna? Where are you gonna stop him in the air? I mean, your DBs are not doing anything that you're paying them for this year. Bradbury's been a disappointment this year so far. He's got one pick, and to me, that was a mistake on the quarterback not paying attention to where he was throwing the ball more than Bradbury making a play. You get what I'm saying? So it's it can get a bit frustrating. Hopefully they put up more points than the 14 they did. Just look at that number, man. 14 points against the Falcons. Man, they should have put up at least 25, 27, 30 points on the Falcons. You got 14 on that defense. That's terrible. And you put up only 14 points on that squad.
Even the national media were picking the Giants to win that game. And I mean, like I said, I didn't think they would win just because, like you said, I'm on your mind frame where it just didn't seem like they were coming into that game where they knew what they should have did. They just couldn't do it, man. They just ran out of gas at the end, like you said, man. And it's sad.
I think Giants get blown out of this game. I honestly do. I think they're only going to put up 17 if they're lucky, 17 points. And I honestly think New Orleans is going to put up 35 on them. It's going to be that's my prediction for the game. I think it's going to be 17-35. New Orleans is going to just blow the doors off the Giants. Giants will keep it close the first maybe quarter and a half. And then going into halftime, the Giants always seem to be strong first quarter, first half of the second quarter. And then if you notice in all three games, when did they give up the lead? Towards the end of the second half. I'm sorry, towards the end of the first half.
No, I know what you meant, yeah.
Towards the end of the first half, they give up the lead, and then boom, they just, it free falls. Like I said, that's going to be my prediction for the game, 17-35. I think it's going to be a handily win by New Orleans. And I think the Giants are going to slip to 0-4. I got no faith in them right now.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think I don't even think they're going to put up 17. Honestly, man, that Saints D is tough. I'm thinking maybe 10. They probably get 10 points maybe. So I'm gonna say Saints 30, Giants 10. I just think it's going to be just a tough game. It's gonna be
Yeah,
tough.
we'll see how it goes. Like I said, you lost Blake Martinez to ACL tear. Your receivers can't catch anything. I mean, at this point, I don't know who is going to be that spark for them. My dark horse for the game again has to be Saquon, and you know who else? I'm gonna say Tony. There's no reason you can't utilize this kid now. You have to put him in. You have to scheme for him. You have to put him in the game some way, some shape, and not little 5-yard dunks. You know what I mean? You have to. The kid is a burner. He can run. Throw the ball downfield, man. He can find himself open. He can get downfield. On the turf, I don't see any reason why he can't get down there. You know,
they need to use him like Odell. They need to use him on reverses. They need to use him on, you know what I'm saying? Those deep outs, those back shoulder fade. I mean, they basically need to use him like Odell, like how the Browns use Odell. So I agree. Yeah.
But so I think they need to start changing some stuff up. Stop, catch people off guard. Throw on the first play. Why are you going to run first? Just catch them off guard because they know what you're going to do. They know you're going to pound the ball first and try to establish the run. Throw the rock. Catch them off guard. I've seen touchdowns happen on first plays of a game because the other team thought they were going to run the ball and they threw a bomb downfield and they were wide open.
Right.
Do something different. But like you said, I have no faith in this team right now. I really don't think they're going to do anything much in this game. I'll be surprised if they put up more than 17. Like I said, 17-35. No faith in the Giants. My dark horse, like I said, has got to be Saquon. Even if they he gets over 100 yards, they're not going to win the game. No. Tony now, if they get Tony going and he can start cooking and him and Daniel Jones can get a connection, then they might have a shot. But for right now, I don't see it happening. So let's shift over to the Browns game. What's going on? What are your predictions for this game? What do you see?
So in my opinion, Minnesota is definitely a tougher test than what they had last week as far as just an overall team. Much better offense. I guess, my keys to the victory for this game essentially start off with stopping Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is the Vikings offense. He's their pretty much everything. Him and Thielen. Thielen is a good receiver. I think we got the right DBs in there now to kind of keep up with him. I think our rookie can stay with him. And I'm pretty sure that, if our defense comes to play the way they did last week and stop Dalvin Cook, that's going to be it right there. Another one is turnovers. So there's a stat that since Stefanski took over the Browns, they're undefeated when they don't turn the ball over. Undefeated. Wow. So that tells you everything, man. You don't give up. You don't turn the ball over, you win the game. So no turnovers. Stop Dalvin Cook. I mean, they ran the ball hard. I think this team is going to be, not easier, but they're going to be, you can run on the Vikings. And like I said, Baker's Baker's been playing efficiently. He's been doing his thing, but now he needs to open it up a little bit more. I like to see Stefanski spread it out a little bit more. Game 2, it was all about the tight ends. It seemed like he was just dumping it off to the tight ends. Game 3, he got Odell in there. We got a couple passes to Higgins, people. So he didn't throw the ball a ton, and I think that was just because of the slow start. But I like to see him open it up a little bit more and throw the ball around a little bit more because I think the defense on the Vikings defense is definitely going to be a little bit more susceptible than the Bears was. So stop Dalvin Cook, run the ball, throw the ball. Don't turn the ball over, and that should be victory for us. So my prediction for the game, I think the Browns are going to win. I'd say 28-21. I think the Vikings are a better offense. Again, I don't see us sacking them 9 times. Now we should. Don't get me wrong. When they lined up Clowney and Garrett on the same side, I was thanking God. I'm like, thank you, God. Like as soon as I saw that, I was like, Joe Woods knows what he's doing now. And sure enough, when they put those 2, and then JOK, man. There was another stat too, man. They said that PFF rankings, JOK was ranked 97th or 98%, something like that. He was the number 1 rated linebacker in the NFL, not rookie linebacker, period. And since he's been playing in his starts, he's the number 1 ranked linebacker. That dude is a freak, man. They got to get him on the field and let him do his thing. He's our Troy Polamalu. He's a beast, man.
So I need you guys to be careful because this can be a trap game for you guys very easily. You have a savvy quarterback in Cousins. He's a savvy veteran. He knows how to win. It's not like he doesn't know how to win. He's had playoff moments. He's had where he's dragged his team to the playoffs essentially by himself by making big plays. So Browns defense needs to keep that pressure on like they did against Fields, but Fields is a rookie. So yes, they're not. I don't believe they're going to get 9 sacks in one game on Cousins. But if they can keep the pressure on him, Cousins is susceptible to interceptions. He's been his whole career. If you can get him to have some happy feet, which I think they will, I think he might have maybe 1 or 2 picks in the game. Because he's a veteran, he's not going to run. Cousins is not a runner. He's not. You don't have to worry about him tucking the ball and taking off on you like right. You would with Fields. So his game is more of a throwing game. Then you said Devin Kick, you need to shut him down, which I don't think you can shut him down. You can limit his yardage. He's still going to eat some. He's not, right. Don't get me wrong, he's not going to cook you for 200-300 yards in the game. But you need to just make sure you plug that middle up so he can't take off for you and make sure you plug up those corners so he doesn't cut on you. But with Cousins, I think he's savvy, man. Don't sleep on. I'm telling people, don't sleep on Cousins because it'll come back to bite you. They don't need to go in there cocky. They need to go in there hungry like that defense was last week, and I think they'd be just fine. But for this game, I think it's gonna be closer than what I give it. So I'm gonna have it the Browns 27 and the Vikings 24 because the Vikings can put up some points. Yeah. So if they're cooking, they can put up some points. I think you guys win by a field goal. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think Mayfield's gonna have a clean game, but you guys are just gonna have to match offenses. Honestly, I think Cousins is gonna put up some points in that game. Like I said, he's a savvy veteran, and I always give savvy veterans the benefit of the doubt. Browns still come out on top. It'll be a closer game. Defense is gonna show up, but not as dominant as they were in the game against Chicago.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see something in between. I mean, like I said, we saw week 1 from week 1 to week 3. I mean, there's no comparison. You know what I'm saying? How we played against Kansas City again, the number 1 ranked offense. I mean, they're a whole nother monster. But week 2, we laid an egg. Our defense looked like average at best. And then here we go, week 3 again, a rookie quarterback, a terrible offense. Offensive called game by Nagy, which was just like mind-boggling. I mean, everybody was just shaking their heads at him. Like you said, if he keeps his job after week 4, it'd probably be amazing. But yeah, man, I just think Stefanski's coming back to Minnesota. I know he wants this game, and I think, like I said, they got that mentality. They got that business mentality. In past, I would say, like you said, it might be a trap game because the week after that, they play the Chargers, and that's going to be a game. So that I hope they're not looking ahead and not looking past Minnesota. But they like I said, if their defense shows up even like 80% of what they showed up last week, I think we should handle the Vikings pretty well, man. It's going to be fun, man. Like I said,
it'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be a fun game to watch. But just keep in mind, though. I think this game, if we can get the team can get Odell off early.
Oh yeah,
and I see some connections. I think they're going to run away with this game. So I still have the Browns winning, but it's going to be 27-24. I think they went on a field goal. I think this is one of these in-between games because you have LA to look forward to coming up. So sometimes the players look past teams they shouldn't look past, and they pay the price for it. Yeah. So I think it'll be one of those in-between games. I think it's going to be it'll be a slow start in the game, honestly. I think it'll be a slow start, and then it'll pick up about second quarter or so, and you'll see the points start to fly, and then the defense will come clap down a little bit. So that's where I think it is. And then I think the dark horse for the game is going to be Odell. If Odell can get off early, I think this would be his breakout game against Minnesota. He's probably going to put up about 100 yards if he can get going the way he needs to get going. But we'll see, though. We'll see how Stefanski is scheming. We'll see how the offense is clicking, and then go from that point.
Sure. I don't mind ugly games, man. If we rush the ball 300 times, even for 300 yards, and, Baker throws for 150 and we win 24, 23, or 21, like, hey, I'm fine with ugly wins right now. Yeah. Like I said, after week 3, I know what our defense can do. So I'm not worried about the offense.
Yeah. Don't let Devin Cook beat you. Let Cousins try to beat you, because Cousins can beat you if you give him just don't give him enough leeway to do it. Keep pressure on him, and I think they'll be fine. Keep running those schemes. The tape is already out on Cousins, but if you sleep on him, he'll come and bite you in the behind. So we'll go from there. But before we wrap up, so we are going to be working on some things. We're going to be popping up some social media pages So we will have an IG page coming soon. We will have a Twitter page coming soon. We're going to try to build this thing up and be all over social media, posting and, putting up stats and pictures and just trying to continue with this with the podcast where we're doing it for YouTube right now, and then just roll it over as well. So this has been For the City. I'm Francisco.
Chef Boy Ortiz.
And we will see you guys next week.
All right now.
See you later.
Yep.